In this session, we will start talking about how to find the right customers through your Facebook ads. So if you ever wondered how to do that and how to research customers for your e-commerce store, you are in a luck, because that's exactly what we are going to do today. And specifically, what we're going to be covering is how to tap into what we call killer audiences on Facebook, the right audiences, what are big businesses doing, and as a result what you actually must avoid at all costs, because remember, we do not want to go where the big business goes. But before we get there, guys, I just really want to ask you, have you experienced any of the following? Have you experienced that your ad started off really, really well, and then suddenly it died down, suddenly it just didn't work anymore? Or have you experienced that you had a great result with one campaign, but then you suddenly couldn't replicate it with another one? Or have you ever experienced that you were just completely unsure, like, oh my God, what do I put in these ads? Like, I don't know what creative, what image, like, I just don't know how to make it more attractive or sexy for people to actually like click and buy. Guys, I just want to put it out there and say, you are not alone. You are not alone. I experienced this so many times. And like, I even teach this stuff, right? So for a while, I was like, hang on a minute. I thought I knew my stuff. And, at that point when this happened, I was like running ads on quite large budgets for about 4 or 5 years, right? And I was like clear on what I was doing. I was clear on how to get results, how to position it. And yet I stopped getting all of these great results. And I started to work on like replicating and duplicating and desperately like trying to go back to the numbers and, just looking at what was going on, and just starting to spend like more and more money. Of course, was doing lots of research and testing, but I still couldn't do it. And so I started to put together pieces of the puzzle of what became e-commerce. And what I found out was that in e-commerce, all of the successful businesses were not actually doing the push stuff. Instead, what they were doing, they were actually pulling customers towards them, instead of like pushing a message on them. So in other words, they were not speaking to everyone, but they had a super crystal clear message that I was speaking to a very, very, very specific audience. Okay. So essentially, it's a crystal clear message that speaks to a very specific audience. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. At first glance, they might look similar to the old way, but I'll show you how they are very, very, very different. Guys, have any of you heard of Ladyboss? Have any of you heard of Ladyboss? They are a weight loss company, and besides the weight loss programs, they do things like shakes and lots of e-commerce products like the fashion line and shakes and all that type of stuff. I'll show you the numbers in a moment. You're gonna be like, what? These guys have built this from nothing, and they're literally like, she's in her early 30s, he's in his late 20s. They've got 2 little kids, and they build this from scratch only because they specifically speak to the customer with a specific message. This whole ad is about like the problems that moms have. She is speaking to moms specifically. Okay, she's addressing the big problem, which is midterm. She doesn't even talk about weight loss shakes until like the last 10 seconds of the ad. Do you guys starting to get the point? Like, she's connecting, she's cutting through without having to compete with big business, because she's clear on who that person is, who she's speaking to exactly, what exactly they care about, and what their problems are. Not what her problems are, what their problems are. Now, I want you guys to see this result just right here. They hit 32 million in sales. This is a privately owned company. This is, guys, not a big business. They are not a big business. So to achieve those results, and we're just getting into that, to achieve those results, you need to be super clear and specific on who the who is and what the who is, what the who wants. Okay. But in my head, I was like, but how do you get into somebody's head? That was like the big question. Like, how do you get into someone's head without surgery, clearly, and extract just what you need for your business? Because do you guys agree that there's like lots of things going on in everybody's heads, and some things we rather not know? Do you agree with that? Some things we rather not know. And I was like, I had the amazing privilege to see Kaylin from Ladyboss recently, and she was sharing with us exactly how she did it. And that's what I'm going to share with you. So, guess what? Like, it was so simple. And you guys going to think that this is crazy because it's so simple. But in my head, I was like asking, like, Kaylin, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you find out like what's exactly in your customer's head? And she was like, I just ask. And I was like, what? Ask who, where, how? Like, is really this the secret sauce to everything? I was like, ask, really? Is it that simple? And she was like, yeah, it's that simple. Like, to really understand what's inside my customers' brains so that I can connect to them and offer them exactly what they want, I just ask. So, guys, what we're going to do and what you need to do from now onwards to be able to cut through with your message and place it in front of the right audience, you need to go where your customers hang out and ask, 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 and ask, and ask. And I'll show you how. But some of you might be thinking, like, hey, Silvia, but I don't have any customers yet. I don't have a list of emails to ask. I don't know what to ask. I don't know where to go and where. Don't worry, guys. We've got you covered. We've got a very simple tool for you that will allow you to ask exactly your ideal customer what they want and what's inside their head, even if they have not purchased from you just yet. It's simple and free, and we all use it on a daily basis. So first thing, you think this is gonna be sound simple, but it's super powerful. The easiest way for you is for you to start going into Facebook groups where your customers hang out. Okay, now I'm talking about free Facebook groups where your ideal customer already hangs out. So if your ideal customer are moms, you go to the moms groups. If your ideal customer are artists, you go to the artist groups. If your ideal customers love travel, you go to the travel groups. Like, you name it, these groups are there. They're already happening. They're buzzing. They've got tens of thousands of people. Okay. Why is this so important? Why is this so much better than looking at your reviews or looking at your mailing list? Your mailing list, these are people who already bought from you. Okay, that was the algorithm magic. We had these people, then we uploaded that into Facebook, and Facebook gave us new audience that was just like these guys. So it was easier for us to cut through to them. But now we need to look for new audience, guys who haven't bought from us, guys who have not interacted with us, because this is the market where we need to cut through and really understand what the traction is. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to these Facebook groups, and I need all of you guys to start thinking, what are the groups where my customer on Facebook hangs out? So you're just going to go on Facebook and search inside the groups, and you're going to type in your interest, whatever that interest is, whether it's beauty, whether it's travel, whether it's equality, whether it's faith, or some specific culture, whatever that is. You can go to all of these groups, and I suggest that you become a member of multiple of those, because you're going to be getting different insights from each of these groups. Now, once you find those groups, we need to start asking the right questions. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 3 ideas on what you can start asking, and I want all of you to start reporting back. Love it. Tamara, pride, equality groups, genderless fashion. Love it. You go right there. Love it. So I'm going to give you 3 suggestions, guys, and this is going to be the beginning of that. Okay, so you're going to go and you have 3 simple things that you can start asking today. Okay, it's literally going to take you 5 minutes. And what I want you guys to do is then report back on what you learned and what is it that you didn't know about your customer, what you learned. Okay, because once you find this information, this is where we will be looking for patterns. Okay, we'll be looking for patterns and use that information and only that information to create your irresistible ads and irresistible offers. Okay, and it will also really lead you to better understand who is your ideal who, so that you can be more specific when you're building that audience in Facebook. Once you do that, once you are able to do that, guys, a whole new world of opportunities will open up. You essentially are going for lower cost of traffic, higher conversion rates, and ability to charge more for all of your offers. Guys, since we started to use this method, our costs were slashed like you couldn't believe. Like, since we started to use this method, it was a total game changer.